If you're a physician associate in the UK right now, you're pretty much at a crossroads. It's a profession that's being pulled in two directions at once. You have to master the incredible pressures of clinical practice, while at the same time, you're trying to figure out a career path that's literally being written as we speak. So today, we're going to look at a blueprint for how you can not just survive, but actually thrive in this new landscape. Stuck, overlooked, unsure. I mean, do any of these words hit home? If you're a physician associate or an advanced nurse practitioner, chances are you've felt this way. The daily grind in the clinic is one thing, but it's often paired with this deeper, nagging uncertainty about where your career's actually headed. So, what is really behind this feeling of being stuck? Well, it pretty much boils down to two core pressures that create what you could call the clinician's dilemma. Let's dive into the first one, which is all about the gap between what you learn and what you do. Okay, so first up, you've got the clinical pressure. University gives you this solid systems-based foundation, right? But the reality of a 10-minute GP appointment, that is a completely different world. It's all about making high-stakes decisions with just a fraction of the information you wish you had, and you're wrestling with diagnostic uncertainty all day long. It is a massive leap from the textbook to the clinic. And then, on top of all that, you've got the professional pressure. The entire PA profession is kind of in flux right now with the big move to GMC regulation. And while that's a huge positive step, it also creates a lot of questions about career paths and professional identity. It's no wonder so many feel stuck. So, how in the world do you build a stable foundation when everything feels so unstable? Well, the answer starts with the very first part of our blueprint, getting to a place of absolute mastery in your clinical craft. And the number one tool for that is clinical reasoning. Now, this isn't just about memorizing facts from a book. It's that mental process, that art of taking a patient's story, weaving in your knowledge, and coming up with a plan that is both safe and effective. It's the skill that lets you really thrive in that high-pressure primary care setting. So how do you actually get good at this systematically? Well, resources like the 150-plus GP case studies workbook lay out a really clear four-step framework. You start by building a differential diagnosis. From there, you learn to spot those critical red flags. Then you apply evidence-based management, and you wrap it all up by mastering safety netting, which is just crucial for patient safety. And this whole approach is really purpose-built for PAs and ANPs. It's not just some random list of cases. It focuses on really high-impact areas like cardiovascular and mental health. And, most importantly, everything is aligned with the UK's gold standards. We're talking NICE guidelines here. So you know the clinical reasoning you're building is safe, it's effective, and it's defensible. But here's the twist. Being a clinical master, that's the bedrock. It's non-negotiable. But in a profession that's still figuring out its own future, is that the only thing you need to build a career that's both sustainable and fulfilling? Is it enough? And that question brings us to the second, equally important part of the blueprint, career autonomy. This is all about looking beyond the clinic walls and recognizing just how valuable your clinical skills are in a whole bunch of other arenas. This is exactly where a resource like the Physician Associate Playbook steps in. You can think of it as a roadmap that's designed specifically to help PAs go from feeling stuck to actually taking the wheel and steering their own career. I mean, just look at this list. These are just a few of the non-clinical pathways where a PA's skills are in crazy high demand. Your clinical expertise is like gold here. For instance, in med tech, you could be the one helping to design the clinical tools that you wish you had in your own practice. It's a huge world of opportunity. This whole way of thinking leads us to a really powerful modern model for your professional life, the portfolio career. Let's take a look at what that actually means when the rubber hits the road. So, what exactly is a portfolio career? Well, basically, it means you're moving away from the old model of one single linear job. Instead, you build a collection of different roles, projects, and income streams that all leverage your core skills. It's an approach that gives you so much more flexibility, autonomy, and honestly, resilience. And look, this isn't just some abstract theoretical idea. The author of both the case study book and the playbook, Felicia Galen, is a real-world walking, talking example of this exact model. She's a physician associate who has actively built this incredible, multifaceted career as an author, a tech founder, and a company director. This timeline, which is pulled right from Public Companies House data, it maps out her entrepreneurial journey. You can literally see a strategic evolution here, moving from a broader healthcare company to more focused ventures in medical aesthetics and a community interest company. It's a tangible, real-life example of a portfolio career in action. Okay, so let's bring these two huge ideas together. Because when you combine that deep, unshakable clinical mastery with a really strategic entrepreneurial mindset, well, you get a completely new blueprint for what it means to be a modern clinician.
Let's break it down like this. Your clinical mastery, that's the what of your practice. It is the foundation. It's what keeps patients safe and makes you effective. But the entrepreneurial path, that's the how of your career. It's what gives you the autonomy and the resilience to build a professional life that's sustainable and has a real impact. And you can see, these two things are totally interconnected.
So the blueprint for a future-proof PA career really has two interlocking pieces. One, become an absolute expert in your clinical craft. And two, become the architect of your own professional journey. And this isn't just about being ambitious, This is about survival and sustainability. In a healthcare system that is under so much pressure, this clinician-entrepreneur model gives you the variety, the control, and that sense of purpose that can be an incredibly powerful antidote to burnout. It's about making sure you can have a long and impactful career. Which really leads us to a much bigger question. As more and more clinicians start to embrace this model, are we actually seeing the rise of a brand new kind of healthcare leader? It's a really powerful idea, and one that could totally reshape the future of the profession. Thanks so much for tuning in.